Under types of changes, we would understand 5 classifications. The first is based on time interval. That means those things which occur at a fixed time interval, it is periodic. For example, you sleep every night, you wake up every morning, you eat food every day morning and evening. So cooking morning and evening probably would be a periodic event. Then we can say seasons is again a periodic event. You go to school, you return from school, periodic event. Every class of 40 minutes, periodic event. What are non-periodic events? Non-periodic events do not happen at a fixed interval. So for example, we went for an outing on a chariot. Now every day or every week this does not happen. It was sometime we went and probably sometime later in life we would go again. On the same way, when we are on the road, there could be instances that there is huge traffic, so a lot of brakes are required while on the road. In other circumstances, the road is smooth, so the braking is less frequent. So again, it is not periodic. Similarly, a moving watch is an example of a periodic event. However, I can have an example of this watch here. It has stopped working, so it is non-periodic. It does not happen at fixed interval of time. Now, the next classification that we understand is based on speed. Based on speed, it can be slow or a fast change. For example, a child grows from a little baby to an adult and then to an old age person. Or we can have another example, our evolution from primates. So, human beings evolved. Again, a slow change. Another good example we have here are two plums. So one of those you can see is a little red. The other one is dark maroon. So this is an example of a slow change, ripening of the fruits. The next example is a fast example. I have a matchbox here and definitely now you understand. So what I do is I light a matchstick and this is an example of a fast change. So we understand slow change and fast change. Coming back next, what is important is the changes which are either reversible or non-reversible. Reversible change, simply I can say, I take a ice, I bring it outside the fridge and it melts. I take that melted water again and keep it inside the fridge. It again converts into ice. Very simple example. What is non-reversible? A knife here, a pear here. I just have a slice and probably I am hungry, so I would like to eat it. So this is a non-reversible change. I cannot join this piece back onto the pear. The next important thing that we understand here is another classification which can be based on reversible and non-reversible change, and that can be explained by this simple sheet of paper. How? I take this paper, I fold it. What is this? This is a reversible change. I can unfold it anytime. Now, same piece of paper. What I do is, I take the paper, I tear it. Can I join it without a tape? No. So this is not reversible. So with the same example of paper, we have understood that folding of the paper is a reversible change. However, if I tear a paper, it is non-reversible change. Don't go. We have another interesting example with the same paper. The next is a physical change and a chemical change. So the same paper, folding of this paper, tearing of this paper is definitely a physical change. But folding was a physical reversible change. However, tearing of the paper was a physical non-reversible change. So never go by the words that physical changes are reversible. Physical changes can be reversible, can be non-reversible. Then I have an example with the chemical change. Chemical change, process of digestion, process of respiration, process of photosynthesis, fireworks, or let me take another example I have here, and what I do is I simply take a matchstick, I light the matchstick and I put this paper on fire. So what would happen? This is an example of burning of the paper. So chemical change. So with this paper, we have seen all kinds of changes. But this is a chemical non-reversible change. Clear? This burnt paper cannot come back. So this is a chemical non-reversible change. But again in chemical change, we do have reversible changes. What can be an example of a chemical change which is reversible? The change is very simple. Hydrogen plus iodine would give me hydrogen iodide, and when I do a reverse of it, this hydrogen iodide would again lead to hydrogen and iodine. So this is a reversible change. So coming back to a quick summary. Never go by the words that physical changes are reversible, chemical changes are non-reversible. A simple example that we would cite for all the four again. Physical reversible change, I can say folding of the paper. Physical non-reversible change is tearing of the paper. Chemical non-reversible change is burning of the paper. And an example of chemical reversible change is hydrogen plus iodine, which gives us hydrogen iodide, and this hydrogen iodide can further disintegrate into hydrogen and iodine. So we have physical and chemical changes which can be reversible as well as non-reversible. Very, very important, very, very logical. Types of change based on energy. So based on energy, it can be exothermic or endothermic in nature. As the name suggests, exo means release. So the heat is released. However, endo means in. So the heat is absorbed. And this is the basic difference between an endothermic and an exothermic reaction. Now, to simply understand the process, let's say we have the three states of matter: gas to liquid and liquid to solid. Now, from gas to liquid, this process would be condensation, and from liquid to solid, the process would be freezing. Both of them would release heat. However, converting from solid to liquid and liquid to gas, from solid to liquid it would be melting, and from liquid to gas it would be evaporation. Both of these would require heat, and therefore these are endothermic in nature. However, condensation and freezing would be exothermic in nature. So when I say endothermic, I can say melting of water, melting of snow are endothermic reactions. However, when I say exothermic, formation of snow is a exothermic example. Okay, similarly, if I am burning something, burning of a candle, burning of a wood, or simply I have a matchstick again for you this time and I burn it, so heat is released, and therefore this is an example of the exothermic basis. Now, a quick recap of what we have done, the various types of changes and the classification. So we understood 5 different classifications. The first was very simple: events that occur at regular interval, going to school, attending the classes, having 40 minutes classes. So that's a periodic event. Non-periodic event is once in a while, going for an outing, going probably this season and 4 months later or 2 years later. So it's a non-periodic event. Changes which can be slow and fast. Evolution of human beings from primates is a slow change. Burning of a candle is a fast change. Changes can be physical or chemical. If I tear a paper, it is a physical change. If I burn a paper, it is a chemical change. Reversible or non-reversible. So tearing of a paper again is non-reversible. Folding of a paper is reversible change. And then endothermic and exothermic. Endothermic where heat is absorbed. However, exothermic where heat is released. We understood the examples for all of this. So this is about the various types of changes.